Our Yule tree. In putting up our Yule tree, these are the items we display and their meanings. The tree. Our ancestors, who practiced and honored our ancient beliefs, would, for the Yule, bring a tree into the hall, or erect a temporary hall around a tree which functioned as a center support. This Yule tree was the focal point of the hall and the celebration. The Yule tree was, and is, symbolic of Yggdrasil, our world tree. Its very shape depicts the different realms in our lore. The middle of the tree is the largest. This represents Midgard, the holy land of the north, the Udales, Udalir, where god Uller lives. The very top of the tree represents Osgard, where our Aesir gods and goddesses dwell and have their halls. Valhalla is Odin's hall, and Folkvang is Freya's hall. Both are in Osgard. And this is where our heroes, warriors of our folk, are reborn from. Those hero warriors are called Einherjar, which means one hero of many heroes, one part of the whole. At the bottom of the tree, we have a symbolic well. It is Earth's well. Within Earth's well are all our deeds and words, and it is those deeds and words which contribute to our worth and Urlog, our primal law, Urlog. The lights. The lights we put on the tree represent the fires which our ancestors burned during their Yule celebrations. They are a symbol of the fires burned to stave off the powers of darkness, the evil forces. During a time of year when the sunlight was, and is, diminished, these fires were symbolically linked to the forces of light. Not just the rebirth of the sun, but the rebirth of nature, the rebirth of our valiant ancestors, and the survival of our folk. It was a time of family, folk, kin, frith, celebration. These fires burn in us today, in our blood memory. They are part of us. And we hang these lights on our symbolic northern pagan world tree, and that same symbolism to show that we are part of that light of our ancient folk soul. The red ribbons. The red ribbons represent many things. They represent man and his duality in nature to woman. They represent fire in the physical sense, and that spiritual fire that is part of our folk soul. They represent that valiant spirit of the hero warrior forged in the fire. They represent blood, the blood of our hero warrior ancestors, the blood shed by those warriors in battle, and our blood memory of them that we possess within us. They also represent the hunt, the ancestral hunt, which is depicted in the cycles of our ancestral bear and plays out in an actual hunt with the shedding of blood for our Yule feast, which ensures our survival as a folk. That shedding of blood is symbolic of our ancestral blood memory via our ancestral bear, which we seek and proclaim. The white ribbons. The white ribbons, like the red, represent many things. They represent woman and her duality in nature to man. They represent peace and purity. These aspects, displayed in our women folk, are a covering of the bloodshed not only on the battlefield, but the conflict that imbues nature, that is nature. As well, the bloodshed of that hunt of our ancestral bear. That covering of peace is why the first snowfall of each winter season is magical. It is peaceful and has a cleansing, purifying effect on our soul. That is why, on our symbolic Yule tree, we place the white ribbons directly on top of the red ribbons as the covering. They also represent justice and right leadership. They represent chiefs and rulers who were represented by the color white, while the hero warriors were represented by the color red. The roles or functions being interchangeable is also why we display both colors on our Yule tree, and it is why white and red are such prominent colors during the Yule season. There are 12 of each of these red and white ribbons. This is because of the season of Yule, 12 days of Yule, each day representing a week. There were 13 lunar months, but the 13th held a magical time of season, a mystical time of communion with the ancestors. So it was considered set apart, a special time. Lucky number 13. The number 3 was and is spiritual to our northern pagan folk. It was a sacred number, to the point that even the seasons were counted in 3 instead of 4. 12 ribbons, 12 weeks, 3 months. As well, there were 3 functions of our gods and goddesses which are mirrored in the castes of society, red and white being 2 of those functions and castes. The number 9 held additional meaning. Not only is it 3 threes, the cycle of the moon is a 9-year cycle, a cyclical process that has effect on the air, weather, plants, crops, rainfall, animals, fertility, and more. This 9-year cycle has effects on many important areas of nature, a nature that we still depend on. And every 9 years, our Norsemen ancestors trekked to Uppsala to sacrifice to their gods and goddesses, who were part of and reflections of those cycles. Additionally, there was Hermod's ride on Sleipnir to Hela for the release of Balder, which took a cycle of 9. Regarding Sleipnir and Yule, in traditional lore, Santa Claus's sleigh is driven Drasil, which is part of Yggdrasil, around Midgarth, the middle fence, pulled by 8 reindeer, just as Sleipnir has 8 legs or lunar cycles, plus the rider. 9 realms, 8 legs of Sleipnir, 1 leg in each realm, plus the realm the driver currently occupies. The 8 reindeer are named from our ancient Norse, Germanic, European beliefs, which I will provide a breakdown for at the end of this video. 8 reindeer driven by one ancient bearded rider dressed in red and white with black boots and jingling keys, which black is the 3rd function and caste. And that rider places the gift of rebirth of the valiant spirit forged in winter's fire beneath the Yule tree. Rudolph, having a red nose, being a 20th century addition, will be addressed at the end as well. Continuing with the importance of the number 9, the spirit of Odin hung on the world tree for 9 days or lunar cycles and took up the runes. Lastly, there are 3 cycles of 9 months of our ancestral bear. When this 9 is combined with our sacred number 3, we have the reason for 12 of each color of the ribbons on our northern pagan Yule tree. The decorations. The decorations we hang on our symbolic tree represent family. Each decoration holds a meaning from our ancestry, our folk, and from our current family. We become linked together in a symbolic sense on the tree as we are linked together in a very real sense through our blood memory and folk soul. The runes. Our handmade runes are hung on our tree, representative of how the spirit of Odin hung upon the winding tree, Yggdrasil, with runes. They remind us not merely of their magical aspects, but of the mystical, the secret, the powerful nature of the time of year we are in. The skull and bones. The skull and bones represent memory, Mimir, and life. Memory depicted in the skull, and life depicted in the bones, as in mobility, movement, representative of spirit and life. We give life to our ancestors. We bring them to life and take on their memory, making it a part of us, as they are us and we are them, linked via blood memory. These skull and bones represent life, death, and life reborn through us. We have hunted for our ancestors, symbolic of our ancestral bear hunt. And now we take up the secrets, symbolic of the runes. We are them and they are us. We exist with them outside of time. These symbolic skull and bones, which represent our ancestors' memory and life, are held in high esteem and treated with honor on our tree, then and now. The bear topper. We place a bear on top of our tree. This represents our ancestral bear, which we annually hunt, which offers its life so that we may live, just as our ancestors did. At the end of the hunt, our ancestral bear is brought into the hall during our winter nights. The night sky depicts this as well via a constellation of a hero warrior, which leads in the constellation of the Great Bear. The bear was placed at the foot of the symbolic tree near Earth's well of all deeds and words. Our search for that ancestral bear was via Mimisbrun, Gylfaginning of the Prose Edda. Under that root, which turns toward the frost giant, is Mimisbrun, the well of Mimir, or memory, in which wisdom and human knowledge are hidden. And that one is called Mimir, who knows the well. He is full of wisdom because he drinks from the well using the horn, Yule horn. And now our hunt through Mimisbrun has placed our deeds in Earth's well, represented by that life of our ancestral bear. That ancestral blood memory, in spiritual form as our ancestral bear, is then asked to accomplish the task for which it was hunted, to give our folk life, to climb the world tree, Yggdrasil, to tell our gods and goddesses in Ostgard that all is right here. The ceremony of Yule has begun and our folk fight on. The gifts. Some people place gifts beneath their tree. The gifts you see beneath the tree at this time of year are to current family that they want to get something for as a token of their love. They represent the gift for a gift principle of our ancestral belief, which is why many people feel as though they must give a gift to someone who is giving a gift to them. It is part of our ancient northern pagan blood memory. Our tree has more gifts, as you can see, than can be contained beneath it. If you do not see the gifts flowing into the room, Look again, but look with your spiritual eyes. You see love, passion, time, care, honor, devotion, trust, commitment. If you know us, you will see many other gifts as well. Our ancestors see all the gifts beneath our tree, as does our current family. Those gifts beneath our tree are invaluable, precious, fragile, and at the same time strong and enduring. There are gifts overflowing into the room. Now that you understand how to look for them, you see them. There are gifts from us to our ancestors, and because we have given precious gifts to them, they have blessed us with so many gifts in return. They have given us the most precious gift of all, life. We ensure we repay that gift with life, a life for a life reborn. And that ancestral bear who was just placed at the foot of our tree is witness to all those gifts. And we now ask our ancestral bear, grandfather, grandmother, ancestor, climb Yggdrasil, tell our gods and goddesses, tell our ancestors, all is right here. The ceremony of Yule has begun. Our folk fight on.
Just came back from a lovely trip along the Milky Way. Traveled our old Swan Road as in our ancient days. Northward upon our Beerus brew to speak with Goddess Free. Message she has for you, so this is what I bring. Oh, you better watch out, better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Mighty Thor is coming to town. He has Freya's list, she had checked it twice, and comes to folk just valiant and wise. Mighty Thor is coming to town. She sees you when you're valiant, she knows when you've been weak, she knows if you've been wise and strong, so be strong for folk's sake. Oh, you better watch out, better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Mighty Thor is coming to town. He's riding that sleigh just like Odin Sleipnir, Odin to those over shed false fear. Mighty Thor is coming to town. Yes, Mighty Thor is coming to town. Country pastures, peaceful pastures, dressed in white Yuletide style. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people passing, rosy cheeks on each smile. And in every direction you'll see Yggdrasil, our world tree. It's Yuletide and now a new Dahlia, white on green, what a scene to see our world tree so revered. Rows of birch trees among the yew trees, fresh snow covers blood as the hunters have brought home their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids bunch. This is Thor's big scene, and above all the bustle you'll see know Yggdrasil, a time of our bear in the country. Red and green and folk live on another day. Greet the laughing, Thor is passing, horn wild beasts and his sleigh. Freya sends him each night of Yuletide. Odin gifted, sent from Freya, brought by Thor overhead. And if you listen for him, you'll hear a ling, hear them ring. Thor holds Freya's keys on his way. Ring-a-ling, hear them ring. Thor holds Freya's keys on his way.